Notice anything different lately? The way they look at you, the way they talk to you. You haven't changed who you are, but something shifted. And the part that nobody warns you about, you're the only one who noticed. Let me paint you a picture. You walk into a room you've walked into 100 times. Same friends, same coworkers, same family. But this time, something is different. The conversation shifts when you enter. Someone who used to greet you with a hug now gives you a nod. A person who always texted back instantly now takes hours, sometimes days. Your jokes don't land the same way. Your opinions get challenged more. People who used to ask for your advice now act like they don't need it. And you sit there running it back in your head. Did I say something wrong? Did I do something to offend them? Why does it feel like I'm a stranger in a room full of familiar faces? But here's the truth. You didn't do anything wrong. You just started doing something right. And that is the most disorienting thing a person can experience. Here's what makes this so hard to process. When someone hurts you with words, you can point to it. When someone leaves, you can grieve it. But this is slower. This is a drift, a gradual pulling away that nobody admits to and nobody explains. It just happens like a tide going out, quiet, invisible, undeniable. You try to keep things normal. You reach out more. You make the first move. You dim your own light just a little so the room doesn't feel so bright, and it gets worse because the more you try to fix it, the more they pull back. So now you're in this impossible position. You've grown. You've improved your life. You're becoming the version of yourself you always wanted to be. And somehow it's costing you people. That's not just confusing. That's painful. That kind of loss doesn't come with a name. There's no funeral for a friendship that fades. No ceremony for a bond that quietly breaks. There's just the absence. And the question you keep coming back to was, I only accepted when I was less. So why does this actually happen? Why do the same people who loved you before suddenly act different? Psychology has an answer, and it's not what most people expect. There's a concept called identity threat. When someone close to you changes, especially for the better, it doesn't just affect them. It sends a ripple through every relationship they're part of, because your growth asks a silent question of everyone around. You, if you could do it, why haven't I? They don't say that out loud. Most of them don't even realize they're thinking it, but it's there, sitting under the surface, a quiet, uncomfortable comparison that your progress forces them to make. And humans don't like feeling behind. We don't like confronting the gap between who we are and who we plan to be. So instead of closing the gap, some people subconsciously try to bring you back down to where they are, not with cruelty, not always intentionally, but with distance, with coldness, with dismissal, with the kind of behavior that says, I can't celebrate you because celebrating you means admitting I'm still standing still. Nobody talks about this, but there's a second layer. Psychologists call it relationship equilibrium. Every relationship has an unspoken balance, a dynamic that both people unconsciously agree to. You were the struggling friend, the one figuring it out, the one they could advise, help, relate to through shared hardship. And now you changed the terms of that agreement without asking permission. You didn't mean to disrupt the balance, but you did. And some people can't handle a rebalanced relationship. Now here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. Some of those relationships were never really about you. They were about a version of you, a specific, manageable, predictable version, the version that needed things. That struggled alongside them. That stayed in its lane. And when you outgrew that version, they lost the relationship they actually signed up for. Not you, the old you. Think about the friend who gave you advice constantly when you were lost, but now that you're found, they seem almost annoyed because your clarity removed their role. Think about the family member who worried about you when you were down, but now that you're up, they seem skeptical, almost suspicious, because your success interrupted their narrative of you. Think about the coworker who was friendly when you were both at the same level. But now that you've moved up, they're distant, cold, because the hierarchy changed and they didn't ask for that change. But here's the truth that shifts everything. Their discomfort is not your responsibility to fix. You did not grow to make other people uncomfortable. You grew because you had to, because staying small to keep others comfortable is one of the quietest forms of self-destruction there is. Shrinking yourself to fit someone else's comfort zone is not. Loyalty, it's self-abandonment. So what do you do with this? How do you actually navigate this? First, stop trying to explain yourself. You do not owe anyone a justification for your growth. You don't need to apologize for working hard, making good decisions, or becoming someone better. The moment you start justifying your wins to keep other people comfortable, you've already started losing. Second, read the room honestly. Not everyone who pulls back is an enemy. Some people just need time to adjust. Change is jarring even when it's good. Give certain people space. Give others grace, but give no one the power to make you question whether you should have grown at all. And here's the piece nobody tells you. The people who are genuinely for you, they don't need you to shrink. They celebrate you without feeling threatened. They ask questions from curiosity, not from judgment. They show up for the new chapter, not just the previous ones. Those people exist, and your growth is how you find them. Third, understand the gift inside the discomfort. Every time someone acts differently around you now, they are giving you information, not about you, about them, about their capacity, about their peace, about whether they have room for who you're becoming. And that information is invaluable because it lets you stop investing emotional energy in wrong directions and start pouring it into places that can actually hold it. Growth doesn't just build you. It reveals who was actually built for it. You. I want you to hear this before you go. If people are acting different around you now, that is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It's a sign that something is right. The discomfort you feel in those interactions, that's the friction of real change. And friction only happens when something is actually moving. The friends who fade, they were never built for the full journey. They were built for a chapter. Honor what they gave you and then release them. The family members who grow distant, they love the idea of your potential more than they know how to love your actual progress. That's a theme problem and a theme journey. And you keep going, not because it's easy, not because the loneliness doesn't sting, but because the version of you that stops growing to keep others comfortable is not the version of you that ends up living a life worth living. The room will feel different for a while. Let it. The conversations will change. That's okay. The circle will get smaller before it gets stronger. Because here's the last truth I'll leave you with. The people who belong in your next chapter are not in your last one.